Welcome back, guys, to Trails of Cold Steel, where last episode Rean and class defeated the Nosferatu, but with the orb sealing them in the castle, holding them in place, all hope looked lost until a mysterious lance pierced the device, thrown by what they assumed to be Saint Sandlot herself. With the return of the boys back to town, their time at Legram came to an end, as after saying goodbye they took the train to join up with the other group, and together made their way to Garrelia Fortress, as now, with a greeting given by Major Neidhart, we begin our tour. Including today, you have 2 days remaining in this month's field study. However, we won't be assigning you any tasks during that time. Instead, you'll be participating in a series of special lectures and a field trip. Lectures! A field trip? Here! So what exactly does that entail, instructor? At 1400 hours today, a joint military exercise will be taking place at Garrelia's Proving Ground. The 4th and 5th Armored Divisions will both be participating, and you will be observing it. We're gonna watch a military exercise. The 4th Armored Division, huh? The 4th Armored Division is led by none other than Elliot's dad, Lieutenant General Olaf Craig. By all accounts, it's one of the strongest armored divisions in the Imperial Army. And did you know our friend, the Major here, is their most promising young member? It's true. Moving on. As I said, you'll only be observing this exercise, not actively participating. I imagine that's some of you feeling rather relieved, doesn't it? It does sound like a pretty easy assignment after all. But we'll see how many of you feel the same after experiencing it for yourselves. That's all from me. It's currently 11:50 hours, lunch is being prepared for you in the mess hall. I'd advise you all to eat. Your field trip isn't something to be undertaken on an empty stomach. That meatloaf? Spam! So, this food. Your salty corned beef? Spam! And I think I'm getting a hint of peas from this soup. Could use this bread as a lethal projectile. I didn't think it wouldn't have hurt to use a few more herbs, or flavours in general. Calling this edible would be generous. I heard plenty of rumours about the food they serve in the Imperial Army, but I wouldn't have guessed they'd all be true. I didn't think the food they served in the mess hall at Zender Gate was all that bad though. I don't think it would kill them to serve something a little more appetizing. It's the exact same thing they served when I came in with my class last year. Probably from the same batch too, by the look of it. Ha! Really brings back memories. I was pretty surprised the first time my dad brought me to eat here too. You guys really think it's that bad? It really brings back memories for me too. At least there's some cheese and an apple. Food served in the army makes use of common ingredients that are easy to preserve and store. The ingredients used to make all the food on your trays can be easily stockpiled in large quantities. So even if a war were to break out, a meal like this could still be served without any trouble. Ah, so that explains it. I see. But the army serves simple foods all the time to avoid the decrease in morale from wartime rationing. Well, not all the time. However, one can think of this food as a philosophical statement from the continent's strongest army, in the sense that it suggests that soldiers should live and work each day as though a war effort depends on them. Every day. So they should be just as tense during times of peace as during times of war. Well, it's a bit too much mind over matter idealism for my taste, but it's worth being aware of. And to throw a different perspective in the mix here, the food the provincial armies serve is actually pretty good. Good enough that you can't help but wonder how they'd cope if an actual war were to ever break out. Well, it's not like serving good food means you have a crappy army. I hear our neighbour Lebil serves up some pretty tasty food in their army. Lebil's army is fairly elite. You could bet after what they've been through. Probably because the threat of being neighbours to the Empire keeps them tense. I feel a little conflicted hearing you say that. Well, these things are all about finding a good balance. Variety is the spice of life, you know. If you eat nothing but dull, bland food all the time, well, you know what they say. You are what you eat. I could do a few of your pithy remarks in my diet, Instructor Valstein. Anyway, as you heard, there's going to be a military exercise at the Proving Ground at 2 in the afternoon today. It's 12:30 right now, so you have an hour to do whatever you like. I make an announcement half an hour before, so be sure to listen for it and do whatever it tells you. Understood. So when you say whatever we like, does that mean we can tour the fortress? Of course, you're welcome to roam around as long as you don't poke your nose into any restricted areas. So go ahead and explore. There's plenty worth seeing here, like the command center. Now if you're feeling a little tired from your field study so far, you're welcome to rest in your rooms. It would be a shame to waste such a valuable opportunity. I suppose I should at least get a general overview of the fortress. Okay, Rean's on his own. I was about to say, are we literally with everyone right now? Do we have to try and equip the entire world? No, seems to be the case. Well, time for me to explore this massive fortress. There's story events everywhere. Oh my god, we've got to talk to everyone. Are they our fellow students, I'd imagine, to be perfectly honest. These days I find myself looking forward to mealtime so I can read letters from my family while I eat. Sure ain't the food that puts a smile on my face, that's for sure. I don't think I could keep this slop down if I didn't have these letters to take my mind off of it. Spam! Spam, spam, spammy, spam. Indeed. The Vandas are a military family entrusted with the protection of the Imperial family. They're also famous for their house's style of swordsmanship. A few of them serve in the Imperial Army, actually. You've got Lieutenant General Vanda for the 3rd Armed Division, and there's apparently another Vanda in the 7th. You should ask Major Nightheart more. Maybe those two were classmates. Another Vanda? Who'd have guessed? There are thousands of soldiers stationed here in Garrelia Fortress. That means it can get awfully crowded here in the mess hall, so we do everything in shifts. Well, you inevitably get people coming in late, so we never really have much in the way of downtime. What have you got to shop? Hashed beef rice. It's a meal served once a week in the Imperial Army. I gotta say that sounds better than just like a slab of spam. And roasted coffee. You need to get people still going, yeah? What? Did you come back and complain about the food some more? That was just a welcome meal of sorts. It's not like we serve food like that every day of the week. Just 6 days out of 7. The hashed rice is obviously the best meal of the week. Bet everyone's looking forward to that. Alright, which way to go? Are we allowed down anywhere else? We are? Oh god. This tour is going to take some time. Seems like this is the hangar for tanks and armoured cars. It's kind of staggering to see so many of them lined up in one place. Proper tanks! Oops, wrong button. Yes, so all these tags are our friends, basically. We've got to talk to them all to move on the story. Look at this place, though. Imperial Army of Erebonia 5. It's the Thunderbird numbers, that's what they are. This here is called the Orbal Net. We got it hooked up after the Rhineford Company to ask us to test it out. I gotta say, it's pretty darn impressive. You can pretty much access it whenever you want, and you can give way more specific orders than you can on your phone. To be honest, this over time would have been a huge nightmare if it weren't for this. The Orbal Net, they're branching out a bit more. The older engineers seem really worn out. I'm new here myself, but it sounds like it's always like this when they have to prep for military exercises. The Achtzehns have some crazy firepower, but they require a lot of maintenance. They're like fussy little babies. And fussy little babies could fire armor-piercing rounds anyway. My daughter's turning 3 soon. Don't worry, Daddy will be home soon. You just need to survive his overtime. One day you might be. Maybe. You know Craig the Red will be overseeing our military exercise today. He's the man every soldier should aspire to be. A strong fighter and a brilliant tactician rolled into one. You just feel the excitement in the air. You got Craig the Lesser here. Right here, look! Oh, I'm not looking forward to this. You've never seen any military exercises before, right, Rean? Yeah, this will be my first time. I'll take you out then. Yeah, my dad showed me one of the last time he brought me out of here. He really does want me to join the military, but I really don't think I'll ever be suited for the way he is. I get where you're coming from. The more you about his dad, the more curious I get. I didn't mean Craig the Lesser as an insult. I'm not entirely sure how to feel seeing so many Achtzehns line up like this. The Rhineford Company makes these, don't they? Unfortunately so. I'm sure they'll be using them for this military exercise too. As far as I can tell, they'll be pitted against the older, automated models. That sounds pretty brutal. The older tanks will stand a chance. Well, that's kind of the point. They want to show off just how easily the Achtzehns can dominate them. Huh. Well, you don't get a chance to go eyes on with this stuff every day. I'll take the opportunity to see for myself just how competent they are. That's just like her. Craig Jr. Lunch is waiting for me after this. I can hear it calling my name. Just got to keep it up a bit longer. We spent the whole night fitting the old tanks with C units for today's military exercise. Can you believe it? We had this all night, not so much of a minute shy. Once this is done, I'm going to sleep when no one's ever slept before. That's the APCs then. Come back here, you military man. These new armoured cars are state-of-the-art technology. They're practically toys compared to the Achtzehn Tanks. You'll see what I mean soon enough. It's essentially what we saw in the prologue then. If I go this way next. It was a military exercise. So maybe things don't end up as we think at this point in time. This is the first hangar where we keep our tanks. Every soldier in the 5th Armoured Division knows it back to front. Be sure to take a good look around. I'm looking around, man. I'm not allowed to go through here. Restricted area. Wow. I can go anywhere I want, it seems. I can't believe the size of this place. Oh, given that uniform, you must be one of the students from Thors. Feel free to look around all you like, but try to stay out of our way. We're all incredibly busy at the moment. If you don't mind, I'd ask you to make your way to the corridor over there instead of hanging around here. Understood. Thank you very much. Might as well head over there. Can I not head back? Wow. A lot going wrong around here, isn't there? How many people do I have to speak to in the end? Oh, you're one of those students from Thors, aren't you? Don't wander off on your own or anything. Security's on high alert because of the trade conference. We're working some pretty rough shifts already, so we don't need you causing us any extra trouble. We're only allowed on this corridor, are we? Can they just have an APC drive past here? We're in the road, basically. Guys, are you okay? I'm just kind of shocked by how different the atmosphere is from Zender Gate. Well, there's a major military base around the border of Crossbell. I never imagined it'd be quite this big, though. This place is such a departure from Zender Gate that I can hardly believe that this is the same military. Well, perhaps this is the true face of the Imperial Army. And that's more the point, isn't it? This fortress is the very definition of oversized. That's ignoring the excessive display of military power. I imagine that the posturing is meant to show the Kreutzen Provincial Army that they could crush them on a whim. I forgot what this place probably means to you and your family. I suppose. While I don't agree with my father's actions, I can't say I'm comfortable with this fortress's presence either. In fact, I find it hard to believe that anyone could sleep peacefully near a fortress like this. It's a bit worrying. Hey, Milk. Oh, I guess you can't see it from here after all. I'd be able to see it from where the railroad are, but they'll get mad if I get too close to them. What are you up to now, Milliam? You know that huge Orcus tower where they're holding the trade conference? I'm trying to get a good view of that. Oh yeah, they mentioned it in the Imperial Chronicle and on the radio. Can you actually see it from all the way over here? That'd be incredible. Would I ever lie to you? I wish I could have gone with Gramps instead of being stuck on some stupid Bill's study. Why'd you join Class 7 then? Speaking of which, they're going to be holding the keynote session there tomorrow. I wonder what they'll be talking about during it. Most people are thinking it's just so they can decide on finance rules and stuff for Western Samaria. But I think it's really going to end up being about who Crossbell belongs to. Knowing Gramps, he might even try to get Crossbell to become a part of Erebonia. Seriously? Haha. Prince is going to be there too, so I'll probably just try to shake everybody up a bit. Unbelievable. Toa's there too though, so here's hoping things go well. All trust in Toa. None in anyone else. What's with that kid? I knew we'd be getting visitors from Thors, but they're older than that, right? How'd she even get in here? She's part of your military already. She's considered a stronger, better part than you are. So it kind of sucks to be you in that sense. Turbo mode will get us to across the bridge the fastest way we possibly can. Excelente. Let's return to the fortress then. Right, where to next? Central freight platform, the command area is up top. God, I want to save just in case I kind of, like, somehow miss something. This place is massive. Go on, Rean. Let's get going. And check out this area. There's a treasure chest on the other side. I wonder how far I'm allowed around this place. The train schedule's all been changed up while the trade conference is going on. It's supposed to be a special security measure. But really all it's done is put us on edge. Oh, here's container 32A. Jeez, why can't I ever deliver these things on time? I don't know. Try to get that treasure chest. Can I get to that treasure chest? Get you a visitor. Try not to wander anywhere that's off limits. Things are pretty crazy right now. Ain't a soldier here who wouldn't leap at the chance for a full night's rest. I bet. Huh, where does this container come from? I don't remember anyone ordering it. Oh. Suspicious. Last noon already? No wonder I'm starving. That military exercise is really up to our workload. I just want to get this over with and grab a bite to eat. Doesn't look like I can get over from this side. On the other side of the chain, there is a chest. I will work my way to get it. Somehow, some way. We know it exists. That's all that matters, right? Hello, you. The corridor on the right leads to the right wing of the fortress. Left, you'll find the guest rooms and briefing room. The staircase over there leads to the command center, but you haven't been granted permission to go inside. This is how it is, I'm afraid. Maybe I'll decide to show you around there later. Okay then. Welcome to Garrelia Fortress. You and your classmates from Thors Military Academy have been granted permission to explore the fortress. As long as you don't stray outside the permitted area, you're free to go wherever you like. I haven't really been told properly where the permitted area is. I'm gonna leave you guys for the time being. That's Major Nihon, the 4th Armored Division, huh? And his time serving under Lieutenant General Craig. Here he's come to be considered as one of the Army's top 2 most promising young officers. And he's actually pretty handsome, if I say so myself. But I think he flies right up the ranks. It's all the handsomeness that matters, right? Nothing else but being handsome. You've only been granted permission to explore certain parts of the left wing. Everywhere else is off limits. If there's any consolation, there's not much worth seeing in the right wing, to be honest. It's mostly just storage rooms. But that's where the treasure chest is! So I want to go there. I want to steal your military hardware. Damn it. So we found the limits, the bounds of our location by the look of things. Garrelia Fortress is the eastern cornerstone of the Empire, both size and strategic importance. In addition to all the guardsmen assigned to the fortress, the 5th Armored Division is stationed here as well. If you go by the sheer number of soldiers, Garrelia is easily the Empire's largest military base. Having that kind of barrel on display here will make Coward think twice before messing with us. Is there like a shop I can buy from somewhere around here? Like weapons? Go me. I'll take it. Can only upgrade the ones we got before. Ask and you shall receive. Is that how it works? So we can only buy the same weaponry and the same gear. Except the hiking shoes are not the same one. We can only buy certain ones of each gear. We can't buy the special shoes we bought before. We can buy pendulums, proxy bucket, items, food, Imperial Chronicle, issue 7. Who's going to be in attendance? Plus the Orcus Tower. History's first international conference begins. That's what I wanted to check out, is if there's any new weapons to buy. But if we're still stuck with the same stuff, that's fine by me, because we've already upgraded some. In terms of quartz, I think they're all still around the same level as what I had available to me at the start of the chapter. So that's all good. I heard about the fortress from my father, but seeing it in person really drives home its incredible scale. Oh yeah, your father helps train the Imperial Army in swordsmanship, doesn't he? I can see why he's so busy if he's going around training all the soldiers in places this massive. Indeed, I feel like the reality of that is finally sinking in for me as well. I have no idea how his teachings are actually being applied though. Perhaps we'll have the opportunity to find out during today's military training exercise. I'm looking forward to it. You're best friends with Fee now, you're always hanging out. The soldiers here seem pretty well trained. Pretty well equipped too, like you'd expect from the Empire's biggest fortress. And you put in some serious prep time if you wanted to topple it. Fee, I'm not sure that's something you should be saying within earshot of the soldiers. Old habits die hard. You're not even that old yourself! Alright, still lots more people to talk to. Hey, you must be the students of the Military Academy. So what do you think of Garrelia? Interested in working here after you graduate? I admit the food's pretty awful, but other than that, it's not a bad place to work. I'll pass. Today's military exercise is a big one, pulling out all the stops today. The guys who are actually participating already left a while ago, though. Right, who's in here then? Instructor Sarah. Are you making your own bracer board there? Oh yeah, Toval gave me a call about what happened in Legram. So we had a mechanical monster show up outside the city limits. Yeah, Toval looked pretty concerned when we first mentioned it to him, too. Do you know anything about them? Well, I'm no stranger to the group that makes them. They go by the name Ouroboros. They're a secret society of sorts that acts in the shadows all across the continent. A secret society? We don't know how many members there are, what they're capable of. Honestly, we don't know much about them at all. What we do know is that they have access to technology more advanced than the most cutting-edge research institutes. And they've been behind several crises that have threatened to shake the foundations of entire nation-states. And these are the people who made those monsters. I haven't seen it with my own eyes. I'd find it hard to swallow, but there's no denying what we saw out there. Well, you don't need to come to grips with it just yet. We call the mechanical monsters like the one you guys fought archaisms. And lately it seems like an awful lot of them have made their way onto the black market. There's been one sign after another these days, all over the Empire and beyond. Wow, that's heavy. Does that mean there's a chance they might be plotting something here in Erebonia? Just in your opinion, I mean. Well, that's the tricky thing about them. It doesn't necessarily mean that at all. There have been cases where we know they put archaisms out into the wild purely to test their abilities, for example. Still, it's something to keep in the back of your mind, at least. Right, be sure to let the others know too. Hey. Honestly, as if we don't have enough to worry about with terrorists out there and the two factions at each other's throats. She just play innocent too, even if I try to press her about it. Who do you mean? Just talking to myself. Anyway, you just focus on your field study right now. Between this fortress and the training exercise you'll be observing this afternoon, you'll have a front row seat to see what the military is all about. Understood, instructor. Is that more or less our first straight up mention of that? Hey, you must be the students of the Military Academy. What do you think of Garrelia? Oh no, I've already talked to you. Pee off. Don't care anymore. The guest room, that's our room. We can't actually rest? No, we can't. Where else have we got going around here? Emma's just sitting here. Oh, you taking a rest, Emma? I did take a short walk around, but everything about this fortress is so imposing. It made me feel a little faint. Feel you there? Looking at Emma now, it's hard to believe she's the same person who almost single-handedly guided us through that castle. Rean? Nah, never mind. There is one thing that's been bugging me lately. Ever since we arrived in Legram, I feel like just out of the corner of my eye I catch glimpses of this small black shadow following us. But ever since we got to the fortress, I haven't seen it. Really? Maybe you were possessed by something. Possessed? Yikes, that's kind of an unsettling thought. It is, isn't it? Phew, I'm glad I told her to go back when we reached Keldic. She did. She's gone, is she? This fortress is so vast I could see myself getting lost if I'm not careful. Glad I didn't bring her along. What is it? She's not very good at this keeping stum thing, is she? Alright, well, while we're here, we probably should read our Imperial Chronicle, because it's probably going to relate to events that are coming up. We've got a couple more people to speak to in our tour before we can move on. So, the Imperial Chronicle, issue 7. Special feature, West Samaria Trade Conference. The West Samaria Trade Conference has finally commenced. As the first international conference of its kind, it has naturally become the subject of much attention and discussion since its initial announcement. We are bringing you the latest news from the Crossbell City itself, where the representatives of the various nations attending continue to arrive. The 4 nations' representatives. Each of the attendees of the highest standing in their respective countries. Representing our nation of Erebonia, we Prince Olivet, on behalf of His Majesty the Emperor, and Chancellor Osborne. The delegate from the Carbon Republic will be head of state, President Rocksmith, and the Principality of Remastered to the north will be represented by Prince Albert. Lastly, Crown Prince Claudia will be the spokesperson for the Libel Kingdom to the south. The Orcus Tower. The conference will be held in the recently completed skyscraper Orcus Tower, overtaking the Rheinfeld building in Rua as the continent's tallest building at 40 floors and over 250 arg in height. Rumour has it that you can't even see its top from the ground. It's believed that the building will be unveiled during the trade conference's opening ceremony. The conference's direction. With the heads of the various nations in Western Zemuria gathering in one place for the trade conference, what matters will be discussed? A former diplomat offered his opinion. It is difficult to predict. The president of the Calvad Republic and head of the Erebonian government coming together for a discussion like this is unprecedented. No matter what topic of discussion come up, the outcome of this conference is sure to determine the direction of international politics for years to come. Specialists in the field of policy, international relations and the economy will be watching with bated breath. Economy. Tax increase in Nortia Province. Nortia Province is set to join the provinces of Lamar and Cloyson in implementing significant tax increases, it appears. The unprecedentedly steep increase has been met with staunch opposition from across the province. Furthermore, the Rhineford Company, which has its corporate headquarters in Rura, the provincial capital, has issued a statement regarding the tax increases for the first time. The company stated that it believes the increases may potentially slow the growth of the Erebonian economy and has made its opinions known to Marquis Logner in writing. Spotlight, the Le Sage Boutique. Starting this fall, the head store of boutique chain The Sage will begin carrying products from the Strega Corporation. If functional yet fashionable sneakers are what you want, come along to The Sage. Stregas, the new worldwide brand. Okay, so we talked to everyone there, Last two are up there then. Up we go. Interesting that we can only buy weapons for our party members that we've had thus far, right? Ah. So you're the students who have come to tour the fortress? Yes, sir. He's wearing an officer's uniform. I wonder if he's... This is Lieutenant General Walter, commander of Garrelia Fortress. He also serves as the division commander for the 5th Armored Division, which is stationed here. Ah, I apologize for not greeting you sooner, sir. Thank you for granting us the opportunity to tour the fortress. It really is an honor. Well, at least you aren't lacking in manners. Hardly built like a soldier, though. I have my doubts that you'd be able to endure the military's training regimen with a physique like that. Sure you're training them properly, Major? My apologies, sir. Though I hear the Academy has a former bracer as their combat instructor, they must really be scraping bottom. I've heard of the Purple Lightning before, of course, but a bracer is still a bracer. Leaving such an important role in the hands of a civilian is ridiculous. The famous Thors isn't what it used to be. Well, no surprises here. It's like he fills in every box on the checklist for stereotypical Imperial Army soldier. Anyway, as Fortress Commander, allow me to welcome you to Garrelia. Keep in mind, though, that we're constantly on alert for potential threats from the east. I have no problem with your class conducting your field study here, but see that you don't get in the way. Of course, sir. Very well, I'll take my leave here, as I have business to attend to. Phew, he's certainly strict. Well, he is responsible for keeping one of the Empire's most vital defensive fortifications running smoothly. Considering the ongoing tensions between the Empire and the Republic, you should be grateful he allowed you to come at all. I won't forget it. And I'm afraid I must excuse myself as well. You're welcome to tour the rest of the fortress, but don't try to enter the command center. Of course. Good luck with your work, instructor. I'll see you later then. Is that everything done? You haven't been granted permission to enter the command center. I'll need to ask you to leave. I know I haven't. I know I'm not allowed. You don't have to tell me twice. Alright, where's my story destination now? So I've been down there in the motor pool. Have I been up there? I'm trying to think who I haven't talked to yet. Macius. Not on the mess hall, it's this way. Flight port. Looks like this is the Fortress Airport. There might come a day when I find myself in a military airship. So you're gonna check one out, are you? Find Garrelia Canyon to the east. The crossbow lies beyond it. We're currently in the middle of some international conference over there. Right. That should be our last two people to talk to. Try not to get too close to the airships, or I'm gonna get sucked in the engine. We're about to head out for our military exercise. They say the 4th Armored Division is the strongest unit in the Imperial Army. I'm looking forward to this. Competition will always be born from that. Right, that should do it. Normally I tell you how powerful these things are, but you're about to see for yourself. Big ass cannons. Right, Crow? Crazy. It really is night and day. Yeah, it's hard to imagine two places more diametrically opposed. What's wrong, you two? Oh, we were just talking about how different this place is to Jurai. Jurai was super lively, but this place... I think Crow's having withdrawals now that he's somewhere without easy access to a casino at all times. I can imagine. Seems like everyone's talking about Jurai these days, though. Was it really that amazing? It was. I didn't know what to expect with the recent annexation by Erebonia, but everything looked fine to me. It has offices, an entertainment district, and all the people I saw were thoroughly enjoying themselves. I go as far as to say that they're happy to be under the Imperial government's control. I don't know if I'd go that far. Oh? The little bird told me Chancellor Osborne was the one behind the annexation in the first place. It also told me he used some pretty forceful tactics to get them to agree. And of course, most of their tax money takes a brand new deedle straight into the Imperial government's pockets. Wouldn't be surprised if he made the annexation happen just to fatten his pocketbook. But paying taxes is a citizen's duty. It's only natural that they do so now that they're under Erebonia's protection, right? It's not like this is a pretty complicated issue. I like that in the chat. Like, have I missed any story that I've been gone? This is all story. That's why they're getting us to go round, because they're trying to give us dialogue dump. Sure, I read the claims that Chancellor Osborne's main priority is Erebonian territorial expansion. Am I being too hard-headed? You one stubborn kid. Oh well, we're here anyway. Might as well try to enjoy it. Now where to? We've been mostly everywhere. Maybe I'll get a do-do-do ding-ding noise. This bulletin is to inform all 4 students that preparation for today's military exercise is now complete. Please assemble in the hangar immediately. Your transport is standing by. I repeat. That's Instructor Nihon. The time must have passed more quickly than I thought. I suppose I should start making my way toward the hangar. Maybe I'll run into the others on my way. We boarded the armoured cars and set off toward the proving grounds. Inside the armoured cars was narrow and cramped, and the smell of machine oil hung in the musty air. The car shook and rattled over the uneven ground, tumbling around like an iron coffin on wheels. Eventually, after enduring 10 minutes of jaw-rattling travel, unable to even peek outside of the scenery, we finally arrived at Garrelia Fortress's military proving grounds. Garrelia Fortress Annex. Nice spotlights up there. Wow, Achtzehn main battle tanks. There are plenty of older model tanks out there too. Even looks like they have airships here. Yeah, not the ones we saw in Nord. Welcome. Oh! So that's Elliot's dad. I don't see the family resemblance. Looks like the hair made the jump from father to son, though. Reporting, Lieutenant General. Very good, Neidhart. I'm Instructor Valstein, I believe. Pleased to meet you. It's an honor to make your acquaintance, Lieutenant General Craig. Allow me to extend my deepest thanks for agreeing to cooperate with us for the Academy's curriculum today. Think nothing of it. Many of these fine youngsters may one day hold positions in the Imperial Army after all. Besides, I owe a lot to old General Van Dyke. Ah, and these must be... What a piercing stare. This is Craig the Red. Elliot, my boy! It's so good to see you again. Huh? Must be half a year now since I last saw you. How have you been? That's a sharp-looking uniform you got too. I've seen the photos, but it looks even better on you in person. Dad, come on. Still got a long way to go if you want to put on some real muscle. There's a part of me that hopes you'll stay my little cherub forever. But you're a man of Erebonia, and the men of Empire must be strong, stout, and ready for action. was for your own good as a man that I held back my tears and enrolled you in the military academy. Dad, I can't breathe. I feel like everything I've been told about him was a lie. There do seem to be some differences from the stories. You kidding me? He seems like a cool guy. What a delightful commanding officer you have, Major. Words fail me. Dad, knock it off. I'll tell Fiona. Moving right along. I'm Lieutenant General Olaf Craig, Commander of the Imperial Army's 4th Armored Division. I've been entrusted with the role of overseeing today's joint military exercise. Please make your acquaintance. Likewise, sir. It's a pleasure, sir. You've got one heck of a dad, Elliot. Believe me, I feel it in the bones. Now let me give you a brief rundown of what will be happening. This exercise will consist of a simulated battle conducted by 2 of our armoured divisions. Armoured regiments at the formation centre, infantry, armoured cars and airships will work in tandem, using their manoeuvrability to the fullest to obliterate the targets. As our targets today will be using previous model tanks that have been decommissioned from service. All the pilot functionality will allow them to evade and return fire, but they've only been armed with paint bullets. However, all other regiments taking part in today's exercise have been equipped with live ammunition. So you intend to actually destroy the other tanks? Would hardly be a live fire exercise if we didn't. The current time is 1400 hours, right on schedule. We'll now begin today's joint military exercise. Armored Divisions 4 and 5, commence combat operations. Glory to the Empire and the Imperial Army. Begin! Yes, sir! 5th Armored Division, Armored Regiment will advance first. Armored Car Regiment and Infantry Regiment follow their lead. 4th Armored Division, Armored Regiment and Infantry Regiment advance together. Armored Car Regiment deploys to left and right. Wow! Suddenly potent. This is the kind of firepower it takes to fight a modern war. You said those tanks are called Achtzehns? Yeah, they're a type of main battle tank the Reinford Company developed 2 years ago. It's in their spec sheet, but seeing their power firsthand tells you what numbers and decimal points don't. They might be the strongest heavy tanks on the continent. And the Imperial Army's got a couple of hundred of those in the wings, huh? It's kind of crazy. Try fighting things like these head on, you won't stand a chance. That's as true for our own nation as it is for others. I just can't get used to this. Just the sound of the artillery firing is enough to make me start shaking. I don't think that's something you should get used to. I mean, if the sound of guns and warfare ever stopped bothering you, I'd be worried. Rean. I guess there's another kind of strength. Thus the military exercise came to an end. The 4th Armoured Division, led by Lieutenant General Craig, withdrew to an encampment near the fortress. Meanwhile, we returned to the fortress where Major Neidhart outlined the results of the training exercise. After that, sorry I had to wait for us to finish. Don't worry about it. We're the guests here after all. Thanks for your consideration. At the very least, I say dinner's a million times better than lunch was. I mean, it's hash beef day! Hash beef! That's an Imperial Army tradition, isn't it? Oh, just the smell's making me hungry. Yeah, where'd your instructor go? She's a real looker. I was hoping to get a chance to talk to her. She went to see the fortress commander with Instructor Nightheart. She did ask us to eat without her tonight. Alright, well, she's with Major Nightheart. It's hard to compete with those guys in the 4th Armored Division. It'd be enough if they just got Craig the Red, but they've got the Major too, and he's kind of scary. Like a division of muscle men. Anyway, we shouldn't keep you tied up any longer. Your hash beef's gonna go cold. See you tomorrow, guys. Hash beef. That looks like spaghetti bolognese, more or less. Or chili, I guess. Hash beef? I don't know. Does it mean minced beef? Wow, it's actually delicious. It's like night and day compared to what we had for lunch. You're telling me. Oh, come on, guys. What's with all the gloomy faces? You think you guys might have had a bit too rosy of an outlook? What were you expecting to see out there? I'm sure you can understand at least a little of how we feel. It's like, has everything we've learned in our time in the academy been for nothing? Academics, the arts, individual skill in combat? None of those matter in the slightest in real warfare, do they? It's true. If all you're looking to do is fight a war, you won't need any of those. All you need is plenty of troops at your command, the latest weaponry and overwhelming firepower. Assuming you know the tactics to use them well and a strategy that employs them effectively, I suppose. The Achtzehns are even more powerful than I was expecting them to be too. I remember my mother boasting about their capabilities when she was trying to sell them to the army 2 years ago, but to be honest, I'm feeling somewhat disheartened as well. I can't see there being a place for swords on the battlefield with weapons like those on the front line. Well, I don't think that means individual combat skill doesn't matter at all. Still, I think maybe we've been misunderstanding something important all this time. What we saw in that military exercise today was power in its purest form. It has no morality of its own. It exists to bring about a result, regardless of the ideals or principles of those who wield it. That's true. In a sense, the same could be said of a sword or a gun. And all the way up to something as huge as Garrelia's railway guns too. I think I finally understand why they wanted us to watch that military exercise in the first place. They could have taught us in a less roundabout fashion. Well, looks like you didn't wait for me to start the party. Instructor Sarah? So you spoke with the commander? Sure did. I've got up-to-date info on the trade conference too, as well as all the latest on the terrorists. So there's new information about the Imperial Liberation Front. Anyway, before I get to that, let me explain what you'll be doing tomorrow. In the morning, you're scheduled to participate in the Imperial Army's physical fitness training. In the afternoon, you'll be attending a special lecture where I'll bring you up to speed on that info I just mentioned. After that, you've been granted special permission to view the railway guns. I see. Looking forward to that. Sounds like we've got a pretty packed schedule. Well, we did bring you all the way out here, so we might as well make the most of it. Every nation possesses power in the form of a military, whether that military is large or small. Garrelia Fortress just happens to have that power in a very striking, easy to understand form. As students of a military academy, you have an obligation to know the scale of the power. The Empire of Erebonia wields at present, a power you might one day be in charge of yourselves. What? Anyway, even a meeting that long couldn't keep me away from trying the famous hash beef rice. I've heard it's the only decent food they have around here, so I've been looking forward to this all day. We should probably finish eating. Yeah, it's got a bit cold now. Maybe I'll go and ask for seconds. Oh, Eustace, if you don't want the rest of yours, can I have it? I'd sooner throw it away than give it to you. Why does she keep trying with him? I'll never know. You ready for our physical fitness? That's going to be fun. Hopefully it's swimming. We know how to do that. If it's something else, uh-oh. Okay, that should do it. Alright, that covers today's quota. Phew, I'm looking forward to a nice long bath. Well, you know, every time there's a military exercise coming up, the workload gets pretty crazy like this. Still, at least managing your inventory has gotten a lot easier thanks to the Orbal Net. They've got everything hooked up on the network over in Crossbow, right? Wish the Empire would get on that a bit more. Think of the utility. Well, from the sound of it, you need special equipment to send signals through a wired connection to make use of it. And considering the size of the Empire, it's probably going to be quite a while before it's a widespread thing here. Huh? An orb bell? Looks like it's from HQ. Oh, you've got to be kidding me! This right here is the problem with the Orbal Net. There's no such thing as off hours when you can just send you orders around the clock. What's going on? So get this, they're planning on doing some extra exercise tomorrow. That means we've got to outfit 20 Achtzehns with C units by tomorrow. 20! Seriously? Might as well start up another pot of coffee. We're in for an all-nighter for sure. Do we even have that many C units left? Actually, another lot came by freight just this evening. It's only 20 if you can believe it. Guess we'll just have to get it done. Crap. At least let's take a shower. I'm gonna head down to the mess hall and grab some snacks. You want anything? In that mysterious crate that wasn't supposed to be there? It's kind of cool that you talk to every NPCs because you see little pieces of the puzzle before it's laid out for us. I think we all know what's going to happen now. So we move on to the 31st of August. I do like that it was built into a cliff though, that's cool. It's about the only cool thing about this base. Alas, after what seemed like enough adventure to fill a week, we reached the final day of our field study. Over in Crossbell State, they were busy preparing for today's keynote session, the trade conference. We spent the morning running through the Imperial Army's physical fitness program alongside some of the soldiers. And after completing it, no easy task I might add, we sat down to a lukewarm redux up to yesterday's lunch. That afternoon, during our special military science lecture, we were presented with a confidential report on the terrorists. Oh, we skipped the physical training. The Imperial Liberation Front is in Crossbell. That's right, or at least that's what the Intelligence Division believes. It looks like a known terrorist organisation for the Cowboy Republic has turned up in Crossbell too. The situation over there is pretty touch and go right now. Oh no! What are the authorities doing? Everything they can, naturally. However, operations are being handled solely by the Intelligence Division. They refuse to tell the Imperial Army anything, just that they have a trusted ally taking care of things. Who does the Intelligence Division trust? You've got to know something about this, right, Shortstack? Well, I do, but I can't really tell you anything. I guess not breach of confidentiality to tell you they're a really strong bunch, though. That's still pretty vague. I've got a few ideas. Anyway, there's not much point in us worrying about that right now. The bigger issue is that our terrorists of the hour, the Imperial Liberation Front, are a bigger crew than we thought. Big enough to be in possession of a state-of-the-art military airship, at least. Seriously? An airship? Can we assume Reinford's the manufacturer, then? Correct. Just how something that large found its way into the hands of insurgents is currently unknown. It seems to be a high-speed model, different from the heavily armoured types favoured by the Imperial Army. I bet it's from the RF-26 series. There are a number of different models within that series, though. But if they have an airship, that means they're going to be a whole lot more difficult to catch, doesn't it? That's exactly what it means. It's basically impossible to keep tabs on them as it is. With an airship in their possession, there's no telling when or where they'll pop up next. It's quite worrying, especially since Prince Oliver is attending the conference. And Toa's in Crossbell right now too. Yeah. Damn. Now you've got me worrying. Oh, take it easy. I don't think you have anything to worry about with Gramps and Lecter over there. Well, that aside, if the terrorist attention is currently focused on Crossbell, does that mean the Empire is effectively safe right now? You raise a good point, Laura. They did target Princess Alphin during the summer festival last month. It's possible it's just a thing. Maybe they just want us to believe they're targeting the Chancellor. The Railway Military Police thought so too, which is why they've increased the security level here at home. The Emperor and everyone else connected to the Imperial family should be safe. They've also beefed up security anywhere that seemed short-handed. As well prepared as ever, I see. At any rate, you finally uncovered some information on the terrorist identities, correct? That's right, though once again we have the Intelligence Division to thank for that. If you turn your attention to the screen, please. I know that face. Gee! That's the man who kidnapped Princess Alfin and Elise in Heimdall. Not to mention he tried to start a war with Calval in the Nord Highlands. So who is he? His full name is Michael Gideon. He used to be an assistant professor at the Imperial Academy in Heimdall. That man? A teacher? So an academic? Right, his focus was political philosophy. 3 years ago he was dismissed from his position due to his intense criticism of Chancellor Osborne's hardline policies. Oh! So getting laid off sent him on the road to terrorism? Well, it sounds like the actual reason he was let go was because he was handing out tracts and flyers in public. You'll find these kind of idealists at the heart of most terrorist groups though. In seeding a group with their core ideology, they twist it to be even more militant and radical. You can't even reason with them either. Yeah, you just don't know when to give up. Well, there's some other groups I know. So do we know anything about the others? We crossed paths with what I can only assume were 3 other key members last month in Heimdall. Yes, S, V and C. It seems that they haven't been able to dig up much on these 3 yet. The strongest lead right now is that V may have belonged to a Jaeger corps. Interesting. He was toting around his machine gun that looked like it should have been mounted on a vehicle. Do you seem at all familiar to you, V? Not really. They're working on narrowing down the identity of Hess 2, but it's too early to make any informed statements. The real unknown is their leader, C. Ah, the one in the visored helmet. I heard he was going to go toe-to-toe with Rean, Law and Fee simultaneously. I almost find that hard to believe. I don't. I imagine there are plenty of people in the Empire who could do so. It goes without saying that the Radiant Blade Master could fend 3 of us off without much of a problem. But I bet Good Mirror, Instructor Sarah and Major Nihon could do it too. I can't say for certain. Look at Mr. Modesty over there. The Major here is widely held to be one of the strongest up-and-coming officers in the entire army. I've heard people mention him right alongside Major Vander. Laying on a little thick today, aren't we? Going by the family name, it seems safe to assume he's a practitioner of the Vander style of swordsmanship. No doubt a relative of Lieutenant General Vander from Zenda Gate. While I would question whether I can stand on equal footing with him, Major Vander is unquestionably strong. He was my classmate during my military academy years, and quite close to Prince Oliver as well. In fact, he's in Crossbow right now, serving as the Prince's bodyguard. Whoa. Well, that's reassuring to know. But getting back to the point, it's not just C. We still know very little about their group as a whole. Even their source of funding is a mystery, so even if there are no show in Crossbow, I doubt we've heard the last of them. They call it coincidence or fate, but you've put the kibosh on their schemes twice now. It's entirely possible they've come to hold a personal grudge against you, so be careful. Right. Yeah, I'll be sure to keep that in mind. Eventually, the afternoon series of special lectures came to an end, and it was finally time to get a peek at Garrelia Fortress's infamous railway guns. Infamous, even. You'll now be shown to the area where the railway guns are housed. All of what you're about to see is highly classified. I presume you're aware of the protocols surrounding confidential intel? Yes, Instructor. I'm getting kind of nervous. Me too. Guys, it's just the railway guns. I've seen them before, they're nothing to get all excited about over. Alright, this part of the field study isn't mandatory for you. If you'd like to stay here and wait for us, that'd be more than okay. Jeez, I'm just kidding, I don't want to be the only one left behind. Honestly. Excuse me for a moment. This is Night Owl speaking. Yes, hello? Commander Walter. Wait, Muna wants to speak to me. Of course, put him through. What could you possibly be calling about at a time like this? What? What's happening? Huh? Is he taking a call from someone outside the fortress on his Arcus? Sure looks that way. Understood. We'll be on alert here as well. Yes, right. Take care out there. Did something happen in Crossbell? I'm afraid so. A short while ago, the skyscraper where the conference is taking place came under attack by the Imperial Liberation Front. The attack was carried out via airship. Fortunately, they were able to repel the terrorists and Prince Oliver, Chancellor Osborne and the others are unharmed. However, it's too early to tell if the danger is truly past. They really did attack the conference. How foolish. But that's not all, is it? Something else strange happened. What was it? A terrorists were somehow able to gain access to the Orbal Net and manipulate the shutters that partitioned the building. Furthermore, they had with them a force of mechanical monsters. I don't like the sound of that. We found something like that in Legram, right? Yeah, we ran into one on the highway there. And they broke into the Orbal Net. Major, how much of Garrelia Fortress is connected to the network? At present, it's only used for inventory and equipment management by the maintenance staff. What was that? A tremor? It came from right below us. Below? The hangar! What the hell? The accents! What happened here? They just started moving. No one's inside. They just started moving on their own. Did the C unit start malfunctioning? No, they couldn't have. What's a C unit? It's an automatic control unit we put on vehicles so they go into serve as targets in military exercises. How did C units end up attached to our most advanced tanks? This is really bad. I'm going to assess the situation. I need you here to help fight the fires and assist the injured maintenance staff. Yes, sir. Please be careful out there. What are you doing shooting the tank? Get out of there, you moron! Crazy. Hold on a minute. Are automatic control systems really capable of that level of advanced maneuvering? No, definitely not. Our current technology isn't capable of anything nearly this advanced. But if you were to apply the tech used in the archaisms, suddenly becomes a whole lot more possible. Instructor, are you saying that this society might be involved in this? I say it's looking more likely by the minute. What are they? Is the proving ground we visited yesterday out that way? Just what are they planning? What in A's name is going on here? Why are unmanned tanks roaming around blasting the hell out of this base on their own? Well, it seems that last night, headquarters sent an order for the engineers to fit those tanks with C units. Preposterous! I gave no such order. But never mind that, right now. We need to focus on extinguishing the fires and quelling the confusion. Send a request for assistance to the 4th Armored Division. What should we do? Can't see us being able to catch up to them without a horse at the very least. But what's their goal? What are they trying to accomplish here? Whatever it is, they definitely have some kind of game plan. We can't just stand aside and do nothing. Leave this to us. Isn't that... Dad? General! HQ has apprised me of the situation. Leave these rogue tanks to us. We can't rule out the possibility they're a diversion. I want you all to stay here. Understood, sir. Thank you, General. Be careful, Dad. You too, Elliot. 4th Armored Division, advance. Take out those out-of-control tanks by any means necessary. Our opponents are unmanned. There's no need to hold back. Yes, General! Wow, he does really something else, Elliot. I admit, he is pretty cool when he takes charge like that. Well, it seems we no longer need to worry about those tanks, at least. What are they after? That's the question of the hour, isn't it? We can't let our guard down just yet. Well, I suggest we fall back to the fortress, Major. Through the move, after we assess the level of damage in sight. Hey, aren't those... What in the... The Imperial Liberation Front? Oh, there's 2 of them! There's no way we could have known they had another force lying in wait! Ah! hangar! And they're landing to invade too.
Do they seriously think they could breach an impregnable fortress?
They're just terrorists! Wipe them out! Right back at you! All right, let's get this party started then. We're headed straight for the left railway gun. If anyone gets in our way, fill them full of holes. Yeah!
What's the Imperial Liberation Front doing here?
I thought they were in Crossbow.
Well, that is the main attraction. They sure didn't put up much of a fight, did they? Our mission is to support Comrade G over in Crossbell. Our target is the right railway gun. Let's show him some beautiful fireworks, shall we?
Yes, ma'am!
Oh, they're going for both the left and right wings. Shit! It's the railway guns they're after. No. Are they going to fire them at the trade conference where the Chancellor is? If a shot from one of the railway guns hit that building, it'd blow the place to smithereens. So that's what they're after? The situation has escalated far beyond the scope of your field study. I want you all to stand by here. No way. You can't just stand idle while these insurgents run amok. If you won't take us with you, then we'll take action ourselves. Look, time's one luxury we don't have. I think it's best to have them help us. Listen up, we're going back into the fortress. Groups A and B with me. Let's do this.